And by the time I was graduating, I already had a revenue of $1 million, and that was in year 2011. I think it was year 2017 when I decided on like, hey, I want to go to Canada. I came to Canada as a permanent resident and directly. So that I would say psychology has to be changed.
Okay, so you mentioned that your main goal was you wanted people to be aware of the right way to move to, different parts of the world.
That, life is not about just a short aspect of.
A very warm welcome to my lovely viewers. So we are back again with another beautiful episode of Empowered Journey series. So before I begin this episode, I would really thank you everybody who's tuning into all our videos and sharing their beautiful feedback with us, how this series is actually helping them learn more about Canadian education, the culture, and a lot of things that they need to know as an international student. So thank you for your time and for giving us all the beautiful feedback. And we promise that we're going to come with more and more such series and such episodes which will help you as a student. So, guys, since you have shared that this series is really helping you, it's making you feel empowered. So, I thought this series would not be complete if I don't call somebody who's actually incepted this idea of Empowered Journey series. So, let me introduce everybody to a father of a beautiful daughter, an author, an entrepreneur, and a registered Canadian immigration consultant. And most importantly, the man behind this Empowered Journey series. So welcome Ritesh to Empower Journey series today.
Thank you, Urja. Thank you for having me here to give me a chance as well.
Yeah, of course, you deserve it. You are the one who has introduced this entire idea and you had to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So Ritesh, I would like right away request you to give us a brief introduction of yourself, like a little bit about your journey. When did you move to Canada and how it all happened?
Right. So, like, of course, as you said, like wearing a lot of hats is something in my, I would say, domain as well. I'm like doing a lot of things all along. But if I say like about my journey to come to Canada, how it started, uh, I think it was year 2017 when I decided on like, hey, I want to go to Canada. The reason was again, I wanted to be a registered immigration consultant. And
Mhm.
there's another kind of reason behind that because I come from Punjab as well. I was able to see how people, are being misguided. Of course, not everybody is doing wrong, but there are some instances what I have seen. So my whole entire purpose to come to Canada was to become a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I came to Canada as a permanent resident, and directly, like when I landed, I started my, education and examination and all that stuff to be a consultant. And right now we are here.
Yeah, right now we are here. So you are actually running your consultancy and doing so many other things on side. Okay, so you mentioned that your main goal was you wanted people to be aware of the right way to move to, different parts of the world. You
Mhm.
found that there was that gap and you
Mhm.
felt like with proper education, you want to fill that gap. And that's what you're trying to do since the time you have come here. That's
Right.
beautiful. So, another question would be because you are a registered immigration consultant here in Canada and you meet a lot of international students. So, what do you think are, maybe if you have to highlight 2 to 3 mistakes that international students are making at the very initial step when they make this decision that they want to move to abroad, for their future studies? What do you think you want to highlight here?
Right. I think the main point I want to highlight today is like people, especially students, they sometimes do not understand the exact value, or I would say the relation between them and their consultant. So a consultant is actually, in the picture to help you, to guide you, and to support you, right? But I'm not sure why it is like that. Sometimes people have their consultants, but they don't trust their consultants. So I want to talk bit like in a legal language. In Canada, when you are an authorized consultant, when you are a legal consultant, registered consultant, you are actually legal representative of the client, right? So means you will be able to handle their case, you'll be able to, put their case forward to the embassy officers in a good way, in a good trust actually, right? So it is not about just taking admission or just not about taking a visa. It is about presenting your case to them. And the students make a mistake right at the start. For example, like a basic thing which student will relate to. They'll hire their consultant and they will say, I want my GCK username and password. But they don't understand, like, consultants do not create your GC keys. It is either you creating your GC key, or otherwise it is a consultant's portal where your application is going. So I feel like when you're not trusting somebody, you should not have them as a consultant. That is one single mistake people do, and that is one single good thing they would be able to do. Ask questions to your consultant. It's not like something that you have to hire them directly. And the second thing, I think they have to choose a course which can make their career. It should not be a course which can get them entry into Canada. So that I would say psychology has to be changed. You're coming to Canada to make a career. Don't think for short term, like for 1 year, I want a lean back college where there's no study. Go for a course which can actually give you a lean back lifestyle when you graduate, like have a good job, have a kind of settled life. So I think these are two factors. Trust your consultant and find a way for your career. That's the most important aspect.
I truly agree, and I can resonate to this because I was myself, at at this certain time where I was meeting people, and I have to, seek help from consultants who can help me do this filing and everything. But I believe I would like to add this one thing here. One, of course, as you mentioned, communication, with the consultants is very important, to keep all your questions forward and then see if you can resonate and you can, see the values are matching, then you should be going ahead with full trust with that consultant. Otherwise, there are so many consultants, and at the end of the day, you can do everything on your own as well if you
Right.
feel right that you can't match and they are not actually able to help you the way you want to seek that. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously a good program is very important, and only you can choose that program because you have to eventually study.
That's
That's
right.
beautiful, and I guess that's an amazing advice for all the students. So now I would right away jump into this Empowered Journey series. So Ritesh, so anybody who is, who don't know, so Ritesh is the one who has actually, incepted this entire idea of Empowered Journey series. So please tell our audience what made you or what inspired you that a series like this has to come forward. There are a lot of people who have done such series, but less places where I see that students are coming forward and they are sharing their stories of struggles and their achievements, their journeys. So what motivated you to start this?
I think it has always been in back of my mind, but it actually, was something that I wanted to do from last 2 years. There's a long story of my life. Like I was I would say most, what we can say, like, the person who feels inferior about himself when I was in my childhood, the person who was being neglected, the person who was shy, like I was not able to talk to anybody. Then a sudden change in my life came when I went to university. I kind of, got so empowered with the blessings of my family, as well as, with the peers I was in touch with, that I started my consulting venture when I was in my college. And I was doing my engineering. I started the consulting venture in second year. And by the time I was graduating, I already had a revenue of $1 million. And that was in year 2011. And that time, when you have a lot of money, you actually start realizing that money is not everything. Like if you're making money, you started to make money, you feel like, you need this all the time. But when you make a lot of money, it's like, this is not everything. There is something beyond that money aspect. And that values I already had from my family, but feeling it so closely by myself was something, that changed my perspective. So from there, I started another consulting company, which my only purpose was to help students to find a good college and university within India. So from their journey started, made a lot of money. Like money was never a problem. Then, in all this journey in 2025, 21, I lost my father. So who was actually guiding force behind me? Whose story, when I see their personality, I was always like, man, he's always doing to, give power to the person who's in touch with them. I've seen them so closely in all the social activities, they were always like in business they were not that much, but in social activities they were always like at the front. In our city they were the number one on that aspect, right? And before we lost them, like they were having a conversation with me and they were like, Ritesh, you're doing a lot of things. Why not you club all those things into one venture so as anybody who is approaching to you? Because I'm into IT, I'm into, management consulting, I'm into career counseling, I'm into all those things, like immigration is one part of it. So that's why it was his idea to bring all things into one part that's called Watts Group, right?
Yeah.
And this was the same year when I incorporated this, when I lost him. And his journey was something to empower.
Hmm.
And that's where we got this word. So the tagline of our company is power that empowers. And it is his divine guidance which is into existence at this moment, from where I am trying my best to, bring power to people. That with that line, I would say, this empowered journey is something I really want to have people, knowledge, resources about the things that, life is not about just a short aspect of making money. There
Hmm.
is more to that, because when you are in your struggling phase in your life, even if it's in Canada, if it's in any country, you're in your starting career phase, you need somebody to guide you. I know, like when I was starting my venture, I was having somebody to tell me, that was my father, to do activities that gives you more power back to you, and you give that power back to society. It
Yeah.
was a circle, right? You're making money, you're spending that money to help people, and that people actually helping you to build your business. It goes around that. So I think the Empowered Journey series is so close to me. The empowerment activities which I try to do, I'm not sure how successful I am till yet, but my actually purpose of life now is to give more back to society as much as I can. Of course, I do business, but that's what I'm doing for from long, made a lot of money. It's more about, giving back to society now.
Ritesh, it has been a beautiful explanation. Let me tell you, I am deeply touched, and I am sure everybody who is watching this video now they'll know the true intentions behind Empower Journey series. So I know, like, your father has always been that, motivation behind doing all of this. And as you mentioned, he said he wanted you to bring everything together. And I guess through this series, you are doing the same. And also, you highlighted, or you brought one thing in the conversation, that you don't know how successful you are at it, but you want to give back to the community. So, I just want to tell you that the series is really going to be of so much help and support to international students that you can't even imagine. Because we are actually getting people themselves, who have been through those journeys, and people who have actually gone through that adventure, they are the best people to learn from. So it's going to be a huge success, and kudos to you for taking such a beautiful initiative, and turning this into such, like, so beautiful thing. Okay, so before I close the conversation, I just want you to give one advice. Any last advice you want to have, to just share with the audience?
My one advice to everybody around the world, like wherever you are, just be the doer. I think you learn more by doing rather than, just by listening, by, hearing, by viewing something. You learn more by doing actually. So be the doer. And when you want to do something, it should be in your mind first. So it's not something that you are acting without mind. You're doing everything, right? So firstly, have it incepted in your mind. And when you have the thing clear in your mind that, okay, this is the thing you want to achieve, then start doing things. Even I have been unsuccessful in many of the things which I started or which I did, but that gave me the perspective of what I needed to do. That made me successful in the another ventures when I put that energy and resource. So for a student, do connect, do meet new people, do network, do some jobs, do learn new skills, do participate.
Yeah.
So it's all about doing. And for immigrants, of course, again, everything is about doing, but be mindful when you do your things. That's the advice I want to give my
Yes.
audience.
Yeah, so that has been an amazing, advice, that you have to have that doer mindset. And also on top of that, you need to know why, you need to know the purpose behind why you're doing something. Only then you'll be able to put your 100% to. So that it has been, amazing talking to you, learning your empowering journey and what inspired you to bring this journey forward. So thank you so much, Ritesh, for all your time. And I'm sure people or the students, who have consumed this video, they're gonna learn so much from your journey, and they'll be inspired to become a doer now. Yeah.
Thank you, Urja, for having me here, and kudos to you for bringing this journey into existence in a very beautiful way. And thank you to the